Hello, welcome back to Final Fantasy VIII Remastered Promise You playthrough. Last episode, we were getting a lot of story beats as to what's going to happen next. Kiro's contacted us and wants us to meet him at Esthar so that we can form a plan on how we can defeat the sorceress from the future, Ultimecia. Now, we're going to tackle a lot of the endgame content. So there's going to be a lot of side questing, hidden things found throughout this world, and we're going to make the most out of Final Fantasy VIII pretty much from this point on, now that we have means to fly all over the world map. And the way I want to approach this is by getting, their ultimate weapons, all the GFs, and everything before we move on to the 4th disc. So, breaking up the videos into pieces going forward, I think what I'm going to do is I will explain how to get the ultimate weapons for every character, and then I'm going to go hunt down those items myself. And I think this will be probably a really tough section of the game to make videos of, because there's going to be a lot of farming, a lot of expectations of farming, and the best thing I can do is point out where you can get these things from, and then the most useful ability that you're going to have to know is level up and level down, which you get for getting Tonberry King. Because some of the enemies are going to be sporadic in their levelings right now, since I have a squall that's at 40 and every other team member is below him by half in their 20s. So they could be high-level enemies, or they could be like mid or low-level enemies, depending on the average party that you do. So make sure that you equip level up and level down, and look up guides. There's guides all over the world in order to figure out what materials you'll need to get their ultimate weapons. And right now, for the end game content, what you're going to want to start doing is definitely get some abilities learned. So if you travel down this way, and this little island right here, you're going to see this cactus popping up. I pointed it out hundreds of times already. This is Cactuar Island. Now, if you actually back up, and you come to these tiles right here, open up your map, you'll see that you are actually still on Cactuar Island, which they kind of, transitioned over. So kind of like in Final Fantasy 1, for fans of that game, they have the Peninsula of Power. So a little bit of the world map bleeds over into other sections, so you're fighting enemies that you're probably not supposed to kind of contend with for a little bit. And in the regular desert, you do have a chance of encountering cactuars every now and again. But at that stage in the game, Disc 2, you're probably not quick enough to, for one, hit them, because they run away pretty quickly. Or you don't have characters other than Squall that can hit 100% wise. So go ahead, spend some time on this corner. You can land on the island if you want. The only issue that I have with the island is that you see that cactus spawning in and out. He's random and sporadic, so sometimes you might get jumped into a battle with that thing, and that's actually another Guardian Force, but I'm not going to go after him just yet. So spend some time on these tiles, level up your abilities for your GFs, kind of get them close to their final bits, or complete their pages, depending on how early we got these guys. So anything from Brothers and back, maybe even Diablos and back, will probably have learned all their abilities up to this point. And then Carbuncle and onwards will probably still have a few things to learn, since they have a lot of AP requirements. And Cactuars give you 20 AP per, so this is the Cactuar AP farming. And most important abilities to pull away from this is to get Cerberus actually learned status defense ×4 on his own, but it's hidden. So you have to continuously learn the junctions, and then status attack junction will open, which will open up status defense, and then ×2 and ×4 will open, in conjunction to that. So you're going to have to spend a lot of time here and level up the AP in order to bring out some of their hidden abilities. And this is, a free one, basically. And then we also picked up a status guard back in Shumi Village. So if you did that side quest, you actually got the status guard, which teaches a GF the status defense ×4 here. So you can have up to 2 characters with status defense times 4. In the future, we're going to get a GF called Doom Train, and Doom Train also comes with status defense times 4. So that is how you'll be able to get all 3 of your characters to be able to defend against various status ailments in this game. And just generally, we are going to want at least one character with status defense times 4, because when we start hunting down Maloboros, they have that bad breath attack that will cast a whole bunch of status ailments on you. But you do at least want one party member to block a majority of that stuff, so that we can mug some Marlboro tentacles off of them, because it's needed for an ultimate weapon. And then I have GF Alexander. In order to get Doom Train, you actually need to learn Med Level Up. In order to learn Med Level Up, it's not going to be on his list until you learn Med Data. Med Data takes 200 AP, and then Med Level Up also takes 200 AP. Or 150, 160, something like that. But either way, it's still high AP requirements, so you're going to come down here and make sure you learn these 2 abilities from Alexander, because we're going to need to refine remedies into remedy pluses in order to get Doom Train as well. And we already have 6 steel pipes that I gathered from the beginning of the game, so there's no issues on that. But if you do need steel pipes, you have to refine the Elastoid cards into steel pipes, or you can steal them off of Wendigos, or they drop it commonly, I think about level 20 and above. And then with Tonberry here, just learn whatever you want. I would get all the shop stuff out of the way, so now you can sell high at shops. You'll be able to buy rare items, and you can receive discounts at shops when you do the call shop from the menu. So if you wanted to hold off on selling some of your magazines for money or whatever, now's the time to do it. You don't need to keep the occult fens, but if you do want to keep a perfect inventory, I would suggest probably just keeping it. I never sell these things because they're unique, and I went through all the trouble of getting this stuff anyway, so why sell it? Money's not that hard to come by in this game, and I have no issue with that. And the most important stuff now is going to be teaching our GF their status refinements abilities, so that we have a full list of things that we can replace magics that we're going to be using in the future, and all sorts of stuff. Now from here, if you have the tool Refine Learn, which you get off of GF Ifrit, go ahead and refine those curse spikes that we got. Hopefully you took time to farm those Triphase enemies back in Disc 2 before we fought Sorceress Adia. 100 of these will refine into 1 dark matter. Then if you go into your menu and you use dark matter, you are going to teach Questus for Ultimate Blue Magic, the Shockwave Pulsar. Back in Lunatic Pandora, we actually picked up a power generator. This is one of 2 that can be found in the entire game. Honestly, I don't know how to get the second one. I've seen before that you can steal it off a certain enemy inside of Lunatic Pandora, but I've never really been able to mug it off of him, so I'm not sure how that's all done. I think you can get it through card refinement, but it takes a lot of cards to get one. Don't quote me on that, though, because I've never done it. But generally, I've always just used the power generator to teach Questus for Ray Bomb. And then you do want to go through the list here and ensure that you have taught Questus everything that you can. Then she will have 3 more things I believe we still have to learn. There's another one out there. I can't remember if the page fills all the way up or not, but we're doing pretty good right now from what I can tell. And then if you don't have all the Combat Kings, if you have the S-Star shop open, you can go ahead and just buy those. Or if you follow along with the guide, then you know, you do have them all. You have every single pet's volume with 1 through 6. If you're using Renault in your party, you probably haven't learned 5 or 6 yet, since she's been incapacitated for a majority of Disc 3 up to this point. So go ahead and put her in the party. Learn that on your own time. I mean, just walk around towns with her, and, you know, they come pretty naturally. If you're going to use Renault in the end game, completely up to you. Wishing Star is very powerful. And then all of their weapons. Make sure you grab the Solomon Ring from the I believe it's called Tears Point. Yep. For some reason I want to say Tears Cry or something, but Tears Point, that's where you're going to pick up the Solomon Ring, and that's going to be used to summon the GF Doom Train. So right there, you're pretty much doing yourself a favor by preparing for endgame stuff now. I haven't used any of my ability learning materials yet because, you know, I want to get all the GFs first and properly just, you know, place them into every character. At this stage of the game, though, I would honestly say start picking your favorite 3 characters. You can disperse all the GFs through all the party members, you know, and you can have a whole 16 party of, you know, guys who are going to be doing wonders for you in battle. But in the last bit of the game, honestly, it's probably better just to have 3 main characters that you want to finish the game with. So for now, I have Zell and Irvine with me because they're going to be needed for the deep sea research facility, because they're going to help us get through that area pretty painless in order to get Bahamut and to go reach one of the game's super bosses down at the bottom. But we won't be doing that for a little bit. So I just have them with me for now. And then endgame wise, I have no idea who I actually want to choose for this. I'm gonna have to decide that. I've done it with every combination up to this point, so I just got to pick my favorite combo and kind of immortalize it on the channel forever. Which for me will probably be Zell and Renoa, because that's how I beat the game the first time in my lifetime. All right, so with all of the preparations out of the way, go ahead and head over to S-Star. And what we want to do here is that we do want to get in communication with Euros and see what's going on and what their plan is. So as I mentioned before, they have, like, with the Ragnarok, there are these little air station areas that you can land on. Pretty obscure, unless you kind of check your map and see. It's the only one that lists as air station. Other places like Fisherman's Horizon, you can just pop over to it, and if you need to get back to Ballum Garden, you know, just hover over it and then hit the X. Don't walk the train. If you walk the railroad, it's going to take forever to get there. But you'll see that we approached, you know, Fisherman's Horizon from a different area. And I'm telling you, even like a bunch of discs and hours later, this draw point still hasn't opened up. Yep, that's the ultimate secret draw point. And if you've been doing the method of, you know, stopping at towns and going to Shumi Village to stock up on the Ultimas, you probably would have ended up with 100 by now. At least one character, if you can, try to get one character, preferably Squall, to get Ultimas, because Ultimas junctions really well into every stat here, except for speed. And you can see that my strength now is at 255, so he'll be hitting for, you know, his maximum power outage here. And the only thing that I can do to really increase any kind of number damage is by giving him better weapons. Which for Squall, he's been carrying, I think, his 3rd sword this whole run. So I still have a long way to go. You know, I gotta get his ultimate weapon for sure. But this is just an example of how you can approach towns in a different way. And then if you want to get to Balam, go ahead and, you know, run back the way it takes to get there, and you can take control of it. And that's how you're going to be able to continue on with the CC group card quest if you haven't done that, because they won't show up in the Ragnarok at all. unless you complete it. Some towns like Balam here, you're gonna have to just approach it, you know, through the front door. There's no way to park the vehicle anywhere around here, other than just doing that. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and head over to Esthar. Alright, Esthar is now under, like, monster occupation here. So you are going to run into random battles. The city is no longer safe. There are some very dangerous enemies here. Most notably, probably the Toramas and the Illinois. So I do think you can kind of run into Iron Giants and Behemoths in this area as well. But those are also very rare to run into. Most of the time you're going to pick up Toramas and Turtipods. Turtipods aren't too hard to deal with. They're kind of like the ground fodder enemy here. Toramas can cast a bunch of different magics on you and a lot of instant death attacks. And then Behemoths and Illinois are just very tanky enemies. So an actual little tip here too. So coming from the air station, if you go downwards, you'll hit this save point, and the green thing that I've been pointing out since we've arrived at Esthar, this is a free heal. So if you're in danger, you need to just come down here. You don't have to waste your potions or your cure magics or your tents or anything like that, and it has a save point. From the air station, proceed up. I would take this right. Take another right, and you'll see that soldier down there. All right, so that's what we're gonna try to get to. And there's an easier method to do it, but we'll go over here because I want to show that the shops are still available. So if you didn't get the Rosetta Stone earlier, you can come back and now do it. The shops will always be open here. And what you want to do is that you want to spam Cheryl shop, you know, a couple times until the message pops where you pop the Rosetta Stone. You can only do that one time. I already grabbed it when we first arrived at Esthar. So there's no point for me to do it. Tornado drop point. That wasn't there when we first came here. Now you can't run in the tubes like these guys are for whatever reason. That's just what they chose. And this right here will be the Odine Laboratory all over again. It's going to be blocked from us. So that Zell sequence is the only time that we'll ever enter Odine Laboratory. And from here you want to take the left at Odine's Laboratory. And you see that everything wrapped around itself, right? So from the air station, if you continue down, you go to Odine's Laboratory. You know, you're running in like a loop, basically, to the shop. Continue down this path right here. And then this guy is actually a fixed encounter for Illinois. We've been seeing a bunch of their cards, and we actually fought one that looks like them at the very beginning of the game, called an Elverit. So it's pretty much this monster, but it's the black and gray version of them. They should be pretty high level enemies. So there you go, Illinois, yeah. We are going to need these guys, and I'm really glad that this is a fixed encounter that you can produce over and over and over again. The only issue with this guy, though, is that they do give a lot of experience. And the biggest problem with that is that if you picked up Odin is going to come in here and, you know, kill it. So hopefully Odin doesn't. If you do get too many Odin spawns, I mean, you know, save, reset, Hopefully he doesn't come in too many times. But ideally you do want to mug him, and you kind of have to kill him, because you're going to need an item called energy crystal. And as far as I know, these are the easiest way to produce the energy crystals, and they can be obtained from the Elnoil enemy pretty easily. I think if you mug though, you're gonna pull moonstones, and that's not what you want. You wanna pull energy crystals. So in order to get energy crystals, let's see. So with energy crystals, you can actually refine them from Elnoil cards, but you're going to need 10 of them. So 10 Elnoil cards will refine into 1 energy crystal. And you can spend your time, hitting them and then turning them into cards, and do that 20 different times. Or you can go find a player in the world that plays Elnoil pretty often, which would be Zell's mom. Is one of the, I guess, easiest ways to do it, especially early game. And you do that until you get enough of them, or you just have to straight up battle against the Elnoils and kill them in order to get the energy crystal drop. Because if you try mugging them, you're gonna pull moonstones more than anything, and that's not what you want. You actually do want their common drop, which is their energy crystal. And it would be level dependent, so I think the higher level ones will drop 4 or 2, and the mid-level ones will drop like 1 and a rare chance of dropping 2. And then the very lowest level ones will drop just moonstones or something like that. So not that great. There are easy ways to deal with Elnoils. One way is to, well, other than Odin popping in, to cast zombie. They take zombie damage. And then with Squall, I have recover, and you can do that over and over again. So you get them zombified, and then cast recover onto it, and it will take all that damage. And you can kill them pretty quickly doing that method. So with gaining levels though, you do kind of want to plan out your bonuses here, right? So if you know this is going to happen and you're going to get a lot of levels doing something like this, I would trade out some of these abilities for some bonuses at leveling up. And honestly, it's just whatever you learned up to this point. Magic bonus isn't really that great. I mean, unless you're doing like an absolute caster build, then do it. It's up to you. But I'll just show one fight here. I actually want to take Drain away because I don't want to take damage from him. They are susceptible to death, but I think it's like a very low chance at hitting. So if you want to, if you want someone to have death in there, go ahead and connect with it. Once you zombify them though, then they're not going to be, they're going to be resistant to it 100%. There we go. They can be blinded and poisoned. So this will make life a lot easier. This guy, he's actually a low-level Elnoil because he doesn't have like anything I need. Pain and double are just, we already have these magics, right? So go in here and level these things up in order to get the energy crystals that you need. And you can just straight up, card this guy, defeat him in this manner. So the basic Elnoils are going to drop exactly what you saw there. Just Wizard Stones, which aren't, it's not a bad drop itself either. But you're going to have to repeat this process over and over again and, you know, figure out what levels you want them at in order to pull off an energy crystal. So I'll actually try to do this. So just run back screens, come back, and he'll reset every single time for the rest of the game. So try to inflict blind before you do anything else. Okay, so with that, now you want to level him up. Hopefully he just starts missing a whole bunch. He's immune to that. That's weird. Never seen that. Yeah, so he's taking crazy damage right now from poison. It's just another way to deal with these guys, I guess. So it's very possible that these guys are actually immune to level up and level down. I haven't done this in a long time. I usually go with the card method. So apologies for probably wrong information on that one. So it looks like you're gonna have to level up Squall, or, you know, just play the, you know, fight the lower level ones, do what I was doing there, and just keep carding them until you get 20. You're gonna gain a lot of AP. The only issue, though, is that, you know, you never know when Odin's going to spawn in. And, you know, you want to pull those energy crystals as much as you can. But anyway, this is the guy to do it against. That's how you are going to get your energy crystals. So whenever you're ready to go ahead and perform that, do it. Take your time. You'll actually need to pull a couple of them too, to give a better idea of the number. So energy crystals are going to refine into this pulse ammo, and that's what we're going to need in order to make Squall's ultimate weapon here. And then, as you see, you need more energy crystals for, you know, various other weapons. So Renoa's ultimate weapon is going to require it too. One energy crystal will refine into 10 of those pulse ammos. So if you do the math already, you're going to have at least 4 energy crystals. But I do believe that's really all you do need for energy crystallize. No, okay, so you'll need 8. So in order to get everyone's most powerful weapon, you're going to need 8 of them. Quest to save the queen takes 4. And we already have the materials to make Strange Vision, Selphie's best weapon. So nothing to worry about that. Yep, so 8 energy crystals, and then for the Exeter here, you're going to need Moonstone, at least 1. So you'll pull those off of this guy too. They're usually level dependent type things, or you can mug the Moonstones. I actually do want to check to see if maybe mugging them at this level will help us. I have a feeling like Odin's about to show up. Oh, shit. Yeah, 1,000. I mean, they're pretty much a level up every single time you fight them. So, a good way to level 2, pretty much in this area. But that's a good method right there in order to pull off what you need, like I said, for energy crystal-wise. So go ahead and play around with this guy. Level yourself up. I think he's immune to level up and level down. And you'll have to pull an Elnoil that's kind of high level in order to pull their energy crystals from them. So with that, we'll move on to the Presidential Palace. Nothing important, just continue down the hallway where we were restricted before. And surprise, surprise. Putting in those lane cramps, man. Come on, drink some water, dude. Right, inside the Ragnarok. So now we got the plan. This is what we're gonna do. We gotta go to Lunatic Pandora, fight Sorceress Adele, somehow trick Sorceress Ultimecia and thinking that she's going to take control over Noah again, and then that's when Alone's going to use her power to send us to the future and take out Sorceress Ultimecia, you know, so she can't do this stuff anymore. With Laguna inside the ship for pretty much the majority of the game, final thing you really want to do here, this will be the last time you actually play like a meaningful card game. Until we get to the end game stuff. And you want to play against Laguna. And he has some pretty crappy rules too. But what Laguna is going to give us is the Squall card. So you want to keep on playing him until he drops it. And then that'll be the final time we see cards for the rest of this Disc 3 area. Unless you missed anything, then I would suggest probably going for it. That's terrible. Come on, man. Telling you, I don't understand it. I hate it. It works for me too. Oh my goodness. Not sure what I can say again. Yeah, and then just keep on trying to get rid of these bad cards you got. So we actually got rid of the random roll there, but we are playing with some pretty bad rolls still. I mean, it makes it a little bit more doable, I guess. But the rolls have just gotten so jacked up since we first did it. Oh, the best part is at least you can select your cards. So just pick whatever hand you think you can win with. And then, you know, give it your best effort. There we go, that's what we wanted. So he's gonna be a tough one. And that's what sucks about it. Yep. Just want to pull the Squall card. That's all we're trying to do, man. Why do they gotta be so difficult at the end game to do this? I wish he would spread the open rule. Now that would help out tremendously. But of course, he's trying something funky here. He's trying to trap us into something. This. Somehow, by the grace of God, I made it on the second round. Yeah, these are not fun to play with. But anyway, that was the last time that we will actually, like, produce a meaningful card battle in this game. The rest of the cards that we're missing are either going to be given to us by way of beating bosses left over in the game, and other GFs that we haven't found yet. And then the missing cards that are still going to be showing up are part of side quest, and the CC group will actually show up in the end game, so we can actually collect the cards that we are missing. Up to this point, you should have every single monster at the, and then you're probably going to be missing boss, GF, and player cards, which is good. Don't worry about this level 5 monster that's missing. We are going to get that card. It's part of a side quest. So if you're trying to figure out, like, why am I missing a level 5 monster? I think I've seen everything. Don't worry, you haven't yet. So anyway, with card modding Squall's card, he turns into a 3 stars. Not worth it. Not worth it at all. You're going to find 3 stars in side questing, and you'll actually get a 3 stars from one of the game's super bosses, which all of that does is it says that it instead of, when you use triple magic, instead of spending 3 magics, you'll spend only 1. I'm not sure if it's ever been fixed, but I know that it used to be bugged back in the PS1 era, so it didn't work properly. When you equipped it as an ability, you were still using 3 magics when you use triple. They might have patched it in this, I don't know. I haven't used that ability in forever, and especially not since remasters have come out. But anyway, what I'm going to do pretty much from here on is gather those 8 energy crystals that I'm going to need. I'm probably going to skyrocket in leveling. A level 40 Squall should do just fine. The Illinois that I actually was fighting has a rare chance at dropping energy crystals, and you cannot mug them at all. If you try mugging an Illinois, you're going to pull moonstones instead, and that's not what we want. We want at least a couple moonstones for their weapons, but not a moonstone all the time. So keep on dealing with the Illinois. If you're not trying to get levels, just card them and hope that Odin doesn't show up and, and mess up things. But if he does, then, that's a free insta-kill. Hopefully you have your stat bonuses attached to your abilities so that you'll gain something out of it for when that happens. Because every single one of these Illinois is pretty much a level up. And then once I have that part knocked out, then we'll continue on with the rest of the side questing. So the most important thing to pull out of this was that we got Laguna on our airship. We understand what our next phase of the operation is. And at any point you approach Lunatic Pandora, you are going to be heading towards the end game. You're not going to be locked yet. There is a point where you're going to be locked for good out of towns. Well, we're nowhere near close to that, so I'll point that out obviously as we get to it. But spend some time, farm that Illinois encounter, and get your 8 energy crystals at the very least, and at least 1, 2, maybe 3 moonstones. That'll definitely help you out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.